we must now turn our attention to nurturing the recovery beyond meeting up of the pent-up demand and focus on setting it on a firm trajectory of sustained and high-quality growth. Data that have become available for Q3 2021 confirm that the economy is recuperating faster than anticipated, and more sectors are joining the multi-speed return, the multi-speed upturn that I had highlighted in my statement in October. The contraction in Q2 in the NSO's end November preliminary estimates has turned out to be shallower than projected in October. The Manufacturing and Services Purchasers Managers Index, that is PMI, at 56.3 and 53.7 respectively in November 2020 remain in expansion zone. High-frequency indicators of services showed stability and increase in the number of optics. In fact, I have spelled out some of these details in the annex to my statement, which of course I would not be reading out because in the interest of time. The recovery in rural demand is expected to strengthen further, while urban demand is gaining momentum as unlocking spurs activity and employment, especially for the labor displaced by COVID-19. These positive impulses are, however, clouded by a possible rise in infections in some parts of the country, prompting some local containment measures. At the same time, the recovery rate has crossed 94% and is rising, with considerable optimism on the successes in vaccine trials. Consumer confidence over the year ahead has also turned optimistic. Corporate results for Q2 2021 indicate that demand conditions are recovering and profit margins are rising on the back of cost saving on expenses, and debt servicing capacity has also gone up. Business assessment for manufacturing firms has entered the expansion zone in Q3 2021 after remaining in contraction in the last 2 quarters. Business expectations going forward into Q4 2021 are also rising. Turning to growth outlook, as I just stated a little while earlier, the recovery in rural demand is expected to strengthen further, while urban demand is also gaining momentum. Consumers remain optimistic about the outlook, and business sentiment of manufacturing firms is gradually improving. Fiscal stimulus is increasingly moving beyond being supportive of consumption and liquidity to supporting growth-generating investment. On the other hand, private investment is still slack and capacity utilization has not fully recovered. While exports are on an uneven recovery, the prospects have brightened with the progress on vaccines. Taking these factors into considerations, the real GDP growth for 2021 is projected at minus 7.5. I repeat, the real GDP growth for 2021 is projected at minus 7.5. And the breakup would be as follows. The first 2 quarters are already known. And for Q3, we are projecting plus 0.1%. And for Q4, we are projecting plus 0.7% in, as I said, in the Q4. So, in other words, the H2 is expected to show positive growth.